Have you ever finished a day full of meetings and felt like you hadn't actually spoken to anyone? Your calendar was packed, the faces on the screen were full of nodding heads, you said the right things in the right tone, and now the apartment is quiet and something in your chest just feels, well, off. You're not antisocial. You're not bad at remote work. And honestly, you're not introverted in some new way that conveniently kicked in last year. What you're feeling has a name and a mechanism. It's been studied. So today, let's sit with why working from home, even with all the calls, can quietly leave you lonelier than the office ever did. The story most of us tell ourselves goes something like this. Remote work means more flexibility, more focus, more time, less commute, less small talk, less wasted hours in a fluorescent box. On paper, that should add up to a better life. But here's the part no one tells us. When the calendar first goes virtual, connection at work was never really about the meetings. It was about everything around them. So here's where it gets specific. Loneliness, the actual psychological state, isn't about how many people are in your day. It's about how many of them you feel like you matter to. And when work moves home, something quiet starts to thin. 4 things, actually. Let's go through them slowly, because each one feels a little different in the body, and you might be sitting in just one of them, or honestly, all 4 at once. Number 1, you've lost the small connections. Not the close ones, the little ones, the coworker you nod to in the kitchen, the person from another team you only really talk to in the elevator, the colleague who passes your desk and asks about your weekend without expecting a long answer. Those little moments sound trivial. Honestly, they're not. When a major tech company moved its entire workforce remote during the pandemic, a 2021 analysis of over 60,000 of their employees found that cross-team collaboration time dropped by about a quarter. The close coworkers stayed. The casual ones just kind of vanished. And here's what most of us don't notice until it's gone. Those small connections weren't background noise. They were the texture of belonging, the little regular signals that you exist in a place and that the place sort of registers you back. You might end a Thursday and realize you haven't said anything that wasn't about a task in 3 days. That's not you turning antisocial. That's a vanished layer. Number 2. The calls themselves are quietly draining you. There's a name for this now, Zoom fatigue, and it's not just a vibe. A Stanford researcher named Jeremy Bailenson broke it down into 4 specific things your body is dealing with on a video call. The first one is close-up eye gaze. On video, every face is the size of a face that in real life would be standing way too close to you. Your nervous system reads that as high social stakes all day long. The second is the constant mirror. You can see yourself on the screen, and honestly, who wants to watch themselves work for 8 hours? The third is the cognitive load of producing nonverbal cues on purpose. You nod more visibly. You smile more deliberately. Real connection is mostly automatic. Video connection is a kind of performance you can't quite turn off. And the fourth is the lack of movement. You're locked inside a frame. Your body can't shift the way it would in a room. So here's the thing. The calls feel like connection while you're in them. They feel like depletion afterwards. That gap is not in your head. Number 3. The loneliness is quietly changing how your brain reads everything else. Loneliness, the real kind, isn't a sadness about being alone. It's a hypervigilance. When your brain decides you're socially isolated, it goes on watch, scanning for threat, scanning for rejection, scanning for who's pulling away. Brain scans have shown that lonely people register social threat measurably faster than non-lonely people. Not seconds faster, milliseconds. Which means when your manager replies with, "Okay," instead of, "Okay, thanks," your nervous system has already started writing a story. When a coworker doesn't respond to your message by 4 p.m., the story keeps writing itself. You're not paranoid. You're not too sensitive. You're not making things up. You're operating with a brain that's been told quietly every day that you're on the social perimeter. Truthfully, that's exhausting in a way no productivity tool can fix. It's not weakness. It's wiring. Number 4. You've lost the third place. A 2022 survey of over 1,000 remote workers found something kind of strange. When asked where they felt most socially fulfilled, only 26% picked home, 33% picked the office, 42% picked something else, a coffee shop, a library, a co-working space, the quiet hum of strangers nearby. There's a name for those. Third spaces. Not work, not home, just somewhere with other humans existing in your general vicinity. Most of us never noticed how much that quiet co-presence was doing for us. You didn't need to talk to the person at the next table. You just needed to know they were there and that you were a person in a place with other people. When work moved home, that vanished. The kitchen counter isn't a third space. The couch isn't a third space. The bedroom/office is, well, neither. So here's how all 4 of these show up in a week. You feel kind of fine on Monday because the weekend still has you. By Wednesday, the meetings start to feel like, well, noise instead of contact. By Thursday, you find yourself talking to your dog the way you used to talk to a coworker. And honestly, no judgment, the dog is a great listener. By Friday, the cumulative weight of 0 weak ties, 4 hours of close-up eye gaze, low-grade hypervigilance, and no third space turns into a feeling that sits in your chest and won't quite name itself. That feeling has a name. The week just didn't give you the words. You don't need a productivity hack for this. You don't need to schedule more meetings. The opposite, actually. The one shift worth trying this week is to add back something casually social. Not productive, not optimized, not a networking touchpoint. A coffee at a cafe instead of the kitchen. A walk where you say a sentence to a barista. A co-working day where you sit near strangers and work badly. It sounds too small to matter. Honestly, that's kind of the point. Loneliness is built out of micro-absences. So is recovery. You're not behind. You're underfed. Take a breath with this one. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not bad at remote work. You're not asocial, and you are not making it up. Most of us were never given the language for what working from home was quietly taking. Notice which day of the week the feeling lands hardest. Notice who you haven't talked to in a way that wasn't task-shaped. Notice the second your body relaxes when a real human walks past. If you're feeling some version of this, tell the others below. Sometimes the room gets a little less empty just from seeing someone else describe it the same way. The kitchen will still be quiet. The calendar will still fill, but your life slowly can start to feel populated, present, and finally yours.